Hello everyone, and welcome to the Vortex, where lies and falsehoods are trapped and exposed. I'm Michael Voris. In today's Vortex, we have the tale of two priests from opposite ends of the country, but very much from the same school of watered-down, doublespeak, spineless theology. Before we introduce each of them to you, a brief word on what the church teaches about the pet issue that each of them has. One is a supporter of gay rights, gay marriage, and gay sex. The other is a supporter of abortion rights, although indirectly. With regard to gay sex, the church is pretty clear. Sex must involve, by its very nature, both a unitive and procreative aspect. That rules out gay sex, which rules out so-called gay marriage. With regard to abortion, some actions are intrinsically evil, meaning they are wrong in and of themselves, always, everywhere, in every circumstance. They can never be accepted or justified. In this manner, they are different from other actions like war and the death penalty, which are not intrinsically evil. Now, on to our priests. Our first case is Father Ray Schroth from New Jersey. Father Schroth wrote an article online. He's a Jesuit who writes for the National Catholic Reporter, among other publications. In a recent article published online, he writes that he will vote for Obama because Obama will lessen abortions through social and moral reforms. Right, because Obama has such a splendid history of doing just that. The man who calls an unplanned pregnancy a punishment. The man who says his first act after becoming president would be to sign the Freedom of Choice Act that would undo every restriction on abortion ever enacted on the federal or state level. The man who votes for, count them 4 times, to let babies who survive abortions die. The man who supports babies having their brains sucked out of their skulls when they're still struggling to live in the birth canal. Yes, when it comes to protecting innocent unborn babies, Barack's your man. So let me get this right, Father. You're voting for a man who promises, lies, that he will reduce the number of abortions by enacting certain policies, which someday, somewhere down the road might kinda, sorta, maybe reduce the number of abortions somewhere down the road, instead of just actually reducing the number of abortions here and now. Sounds like the little boy planning on sticking his finger in the dike in the hole on one end while the water is pouring over the top of the other end. How does Father Schroth rationalize his ridiculous position? With 7 little words. He says, above all, he opposed the Iraq War. He goes on to outline that 4,000 Americans have died over the past 5 years. Hey, Father, 4,000 Americans have been killed today alone in the nation's abortion mills, as they will tomorrow and the next day and the day after that, because in part of cowards like you, who are blinded by your 1960s liberal hippie love child, social justice, flower child, make love not war, Woodstock summer of love lunacy. Wake up. You're wrong, and you're leading people down a road of spiritual suicide. You are a priest, and no disrespect intended, but I don't care if you're a priest. You're a wrong priest. You say in your article that your values made you become a priest, and the highest of all those values should, in your own words from the article, above all, protect the weak. What a pile of hypocrisy. I'm going to say this in the nicest possible way. Father, you're a fool. What my holy sainted grandmother used to call an intellectual dim wit. Someone who has lots of knowledge and no sense. You have so many degrees and run in such liberal circles that you can't even see the contradictions in your own position. You place Obama's policy about Iraq above the lives of 50 million and counting unborn children, and then you blather on with your high and mighty platitudes about protecting the weak above all. What else do you call a baby being ripped apart by a knife, if not weak? Give us all a break. Get off your academic pedestal and get on your knees for a change. Now, as if one priest indirectly supporting abortion isn't enough, how about another priest directly supporting gay sex and gay marriage? Father Jeffrey Fowler of the Fresno Diocese couldn't take it anymore. After 23 years of being ordained, he simply could no longer stand at Mass as a priest and not speak out in defense of gays being able to have sex. While an abortion-enabling priest in New Jersey is busy correcting the church on social justice teachings, here's one in California using the church as a platform to promote his own personal views about gay sex. And, oh, by the way, Father Pharaoh admits to being gay. Big surprise. But says that doesn't have anything to do with his support for gay marriage. Right. Father Pharaoh stood up in front of the 11 a.m. Mass this past Sunday in his parish and said that refusing to allow homosexuals to marry strips them of their humanity.
I would become an accomplice to a moral evil that strips gay and lesbian people not only of their civil rights, but of their human dignity as well.
Bull. No one cares what you think, Father. Catholics don't care what your personal opinion is about something when they're at Mass. In case you haven't noticed, Mass isn't about you and your journey of self-discovery and feelings as they relate to the existential self. Be quiet and say Mass and bring us Jesus Christ in the Eucharist, which is what you were ordained to do. How dare you use the holy sacrifice of the Mass as your own coming out party in support of what the Church rightly terms an objective disorder. These priests, both of them, need to be silenced, have their collars taken away, and be sent off to a monastery somewhere. The people of God are given to you to shepherd and protect, not to use to promote your own anti-Catholic positions. They support the policies of a man running for president who is the most anti-Catholic man that has ever run for president, at least in his policies. Now, only two questions remain. Will these priests be disciplined by their superiors for directly contradicting church teaching? And whatever happened to the liberal cry about separation of church and state? Come November, remember Obama, soft on terrorists, but tough on fetuses. I'm Michael Voris.